بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على نبيه المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد داوديال لما أنتم كسر داود برنامج كان ملكستا كداونيسان waxaa ilaahay mahadiis ah in barnaamijkan uu toos uga imaanayo stuudiyaha cusub ee aan ka samaynay magaalada London oo ah runtii stuudiyo caalami ah oo loo diyaariyay dadweynaha Soomaaliyeed inuu ka caawiyo waxyaalo badan oo ku saabsan xagga IT-ga waxaan idin ka codsanayaa inaad soo qaadataan dabcan koobkiina shaaha qalinkiina iyo buuggiina aad diyaar u noqotaan inaad dhuuxdaan waxyaalaha badan ee maanta uu ka sheekeyn doono engineer Khalid Nuur oo halkan goobjoog ku ah fadlan ila soo dhaweey injineerka oo halkan toos u fadhiya ku soo dhawow injineer Khalid GlobalNet iyo stuudiyaha cusub waana farxad bay noo tahay inaad tahay qofkii ugu horeeyay oo lagu bilaabo halkan
maasta macalin damaantiin islaamaya dadka daawanayo damaan social media ka daawanayo ma santiin and thanks for having me man.
Okay, so here is engineer Khalid fadlan go on and share with us your story.
Thanks macalin ma santai and it's an honor for me to be here after quite some time. I think during the pandemic, that was kind of like turning point for me. Markay had حسمجري like so like شغل driving as a major, and during the pandemic everything was better and I was ready to make a move, a change, career change over hana and career change over hana. أنا حرف هذه نية أنا قف one of my friend literally يقول لكم أنا كده GlobalNet جرته. I'm funny enough مالك كده دقنا مركزيتي we were neighbors. And I didn't know that there was GlobalNet جرته.
Okay. And then, yeah, واحد دقنا جرت إيستيجا.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not far from there.
Yeah. Then مكده مركزيتي. And then والي شيء قبل دنا كوحر هسي سيرجس جري and قبل لينك اللي صدري one of them was I think for the former cab driver black cab driver قبل سيتي I've watched it I think that was the first clip at that and you know I think COVID came the right time for me I think I've been شغلة سمينة I had enough of it and it was one of those things like you do it for sake of it but back of my head I wasn't happy for it so I was like and then alhamdulillah COVID that and then there's a lot of time in my hand I stay then مركز تقويم I remember that أقول سو حريري إيمار هذه was like Wednesday afternoon أقويم هذا عملينا يا
Yeah, I remember it was afternoon but I'm not sure the day.
Yeah, I think
you have mashallah photographic memory if you remember the day.
Yeah, it was Wednesday afternoon I think أقويم هذا and I remember you sitting there and رب القفك أو يصوت المامي وسمينا إيه يعني دوني مسوي سمينا سيدوني هنا سمي شيء I remember asking you Mark you know إن أنا قادوني devil's engineer and then you وعيشك حدا yes وأنا غكرتها but before you get there there's a you know like steps that you
there's different steps you need to take first.
أنا قاطع وباهنتها إبراهيم and of course because أنا وإيجون هاد إن IT برتو أما you know مركز ده and I didn't have anything experience at all before that I've never done anything with IT وإيجون مركز IT and then I think one of the advice you were telling me is that you can't go anti you might as well you know start from the bottom where was an I think A+ I could be and yeah and I would say A+ SME then network SME and then I think Marka network SME and A+ because I used to work during the daytime and evening course I managed so all the time and then network Marka SME it didn't get me like still I was like 50-50 you know it's IT for me or it's not for me and and I think I'm very grateful that you give me opportunity for free.
That's one of the policies you use here.
Yeah. I think then I crashed different team. I think then we moved to Wednesday to Thursday evening, and then that's it there. Then that's where I met my classmates. I said, you know what, madam, I saw you get 3 months for network class, and then I was fahmin next time بلوح بدل then I started doing a bit more homework and then that was it there. And that was the turning point to Sarah. I think the fourth lesson and the third lesson onwards you told us شقة ديارة وتين شقة راسة ما عملش لفريس عمل and yeah and I think within 4 weeks from the day that you told us that's where I got my first job alhamdulillah.
Khalid, you mentioned here a few things you mentioned you came to the school during pandemic and it was difficult time and that type of time when معناها someone or person has to sit down and say okay what is the best future for me because شقوين كلنا نحن نقدر نحي إن الله guys stay where you are قولي جوجا so توحي كنا سامحي the risk إن شغل مع عزوك العسي وديت
absolutely
so that time معناه وحي كوسي فرصة هذه okay this job is not for me this job is no معناها because you're young معناها dadka waaweyn oo kale ahaa laakiin qof dhalinyaro ah dabcan wuxuu u baahan yahay mustaqbalka ka duwan
صح ويا
laakiin waxaa fiirsay IT ana waxa ogaatay dad badan ka baxay iskuulkan IT ka shaqeynayeen and that is markaa dhahday macnaha yes waxaan u baahanahay inaan iskuulkan tago oo kursooyinka
and not only that because dad badan aa daawaday oo dabcan they were doing around that pretty much same what I sameynaya and they managed to get that qaf for example qaf oo wax kala sameynaya soo galaya ba qaf same feel like shaqeynaysa markuu galay kan the business I was like yeah and then I said marka fi fiirsaday kabla ba fiirsaday ma sha Allah alhamdulillah for those I think for those men yeah for those had committed head I fiirsaday and then either black up sameynaysa if she moved to IT you know what's holding you back
of course you can do it yeah and that's what haday u dhahay hadii qof kale uu sameeyo adna waa sameyn kartaa all waxa u baahan tahay the mindset maskaxda bedeshid in dadaal ala timaadid and determined yeah you must be determined
yeah I think I remember that I think April's marka bilaabeen the first hour lesson you would something that you tell us always laugh marka qaar oo sax xasuusta waxa dhahday maanta waxaan barayaa sida wax loo barto you were like not it was nothing to do with the lesson
of just course you need to learn how to learn
there you go I think yeah that concept kind of you know it will be the shay
okay how was the transition معناها ina shaqada ka shaqeynaysa ka soo baxdid yeah ama adigoo wada aad galaasiyada aad bilowdid because dad badan barnaamijkan daawanayo oo hadda shaqooyin kala haysto oo dhahaya oh it's difficult for me to start معناها the courses or I don't have time because I do full time or معناها I cannot commit so someone like you oo shaqeynayay oo full time shaqo haystay hadana waxa hesha waqti aad dhahdid I need to develop myself yeah
one thing you need to know all of us we have got 24 hours it's all about how you manage yeah and I think waxa bartay during that time like because shaqada aad ay ka imaatay so you got between let's say you finish 4 o'clock 5 at the by the time you got 6 o'clock you got 4 hours 4 to 5 hours to mess around with it so what I used to do is just like 1.5 hour a day like the first 3 months because I think waxa at the beginning in order for you to get used to it that's the most hard thing there and then once you get used to it it's okay but if anyone can do it you can do it too as well so qafal bana 24 hours ay start so you know saad markaad ku soo xadarta ku noqon do you think like 10 o'clock while you're scrolling around
okay so markaad timid iskuulka oo koorsooyinka aad qaadatay dabcan waxa sameysay waxaan ku normally qofku waxaan tusnaa inaan la fariisano roadmap aan tusno aan dhahno you are here and you want to go there
right
so in order to reach معناها where you want to go you have to do معناها ABCD yeah so tell us معناها how you started your journey what was the first course what was the second course what was the third one
yeah
and give us معناها the details
and the first one was A plus ahead it's just like you learn a lot more into the computer but the motherboard, CPU, the keyboard, so on there. And that is what I mostly the first, second line you'll be doing anyway. So it's good for you familiar on you kind of get used to it. That's what I learned there, the first one. And second one is the networking. And networking the center is very fundamental. Why? أو إحنا برت أباهن وصابته أو حياله بدن حلو وحلو بقى استعمال is all about networking. From network مركز ماني we start server. I think server belonging and after 3 weeks. 3 lesson or 4 lesson then you tell us you were ready on the high and alhamdulillah and thanks for that as well for you you help us and give us a CV and a CC I think after guru and say I think you divide that for a couple of groups and not divide grade say and then one of the group came mashallah thanks God all of us we are together now yeah okay. I don't know other groups where they are but yeah and that was it and then all of us we got a job pretty much I think 3 to 4 weeks
okay مشان Khalid waxa xustay ina sameysay A plus and network and server
yeah
but my question is a lot of other people they do A plus and network and server and yet they don't have the courage to start and apply for an IT job so what encouraged you معناها other than doing the courses يعني A plus and network and server معناها maxaa adiga niyadaada ka soo gooyay معناها what was the reason معناها aad u bilowday shaqadaada inta
I think I don't want to sound arrogant, but if I was like someone want to believe it, I think American network pillars I believe it. Shaqahaas believe it. I would say that because honestly, waxa baranay iyo waxa sameeyay is nowhere near. It's so basic waxa sameeyay waxa shaqada ku sameeyay. It's very basic. It's literally, and then anyone or like as long as you have the put it this way, it's like solving problem. Why? So as long as you have that mentality, you're willing to solve problem, I think you can do so. I think they shouldn't even wait for that long. As long as you have, willing to do it and learn it for it.
The reason سؤال ku weydiinaya waxa waaye because dad badan cabsiya haysa. معناها they have the fear, yeah, they have the knowledge, they have the skills, they did the courses. فهذا waxay ka baqayaan maxay in shaqada inta ay sameeyaan. Anu waxa ka maqan waa lack of confidence. Kalsoonida ka maqan. Hadda law ay qof ugu dhahayay macnu waxa dib ilayga waxay tahay because waxaan ka baqayay maxaan samayn kartid kalsooni ay ga maqnayd.
Yeah, but you've got nothing to lose. But as much as you want shaqada, they want you as well.
Exactly. What two system? No way.
What two?
And that's what runtii muhiim way aad iyo aad.
As much as you want, they want you as well. Because that's why they put a lot of effort. For example, as someone manager to interview someone, their time. For example, if they do 4 hours a week, they can do that for a lot in shaqada ka samayn karaan. There's a reason u sameynaya sababtoo they need you. And of course, the demand is there. The market is booming all the time. Lately, I think since I joined, I'm surprised, honestly. That's why I always move around. But it might not be that good idea anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, tell us معناها the process. marka shaqada inta uploaday kolashi kugu soo dhacayay sa uga jawaabaysay because I want other people who watching this program now and in the future in a adiga ka bartaan from you journey. So how do you handle معناها the calls? maxay ahaayeen su'aalihii ugu badnaa lagu weydiinaya HR questions and maxay ahaayeen su'aalihii ugu badnaa lagu weydiinaya technical. So aan usoo noqono technical, but HR questions give us overview.
I think the HR is all about customer way. I'm fahming it. So just they're asking you what sort of person you are. Because what they're looking is like a تصالح company and dad badan u shaqeeya, all of them that they're kind of easy going, friendly, and they want to qaf amal qaf wajhi amal baan. Some you have to be very open minded in that, like just you gain when everyone, and then they're looking at the customer base. For example, how would you come over if like some customer user like maybe like and had a lot of when I seen a police how would you react? waxyaalahaas inta badan waxyaalahaas ay jegarayaan ayaka.
Ma noo sheegi kartaa about 3 questions oo ugu badnaa lagu weydiinaya HR questions so people can learn from you, Jenny?
Wow, it's been quite some time. I think one of the questions is like, for example, they say to you, if one of the users say arrogant amal kula hadlo, how would you react and what would you do? That's kind of the question they ask you. For example, you can say, properly, I wouldn't take a person on this, of course. But whatever you want to, like, that's what you have to say. So
you have to tell what they want to
hear.
Exactly.
You're there for 8 hours, just be professional. Simple as that. Yeah. And then and then I want to react to this properly, and then I would have reported the right people, right management, rather than you just like back and forth. Most of the time, they care about more about their image in, for example, family, like how you behave. And then as they're talking to you, of course, that's what they kind of analyzing you, family. They will see how you're acting.
Your body language, the way you act, the way you react to the question.
And of course, it's all about the image. You got to dress them out on that day.
Okay. It is for the occasion, of course.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
And communication is very important.
Absolutely.
Because every single job they ask about communication and soft skills.
And always just like listen. So don't like Anaka Somali Bana, we like to, talk one another. But I think just listen to them when they finish going to get if at the other just make a note so at least you don't forget what you're about to say.
Okay, and what about the technical? Because that's kind of shaqada most of them they completed A+ and network. Some of them up to server. Some of them maybe more than that. So qof aqoonta haysta macnaha ma dhibaysa inuu shaqooyinka da'da banayso kale u dalbado first line, second line.
Anyone who's up to server got it, they shouldn't be waiting anyway. They should be out the market hunting for work. But I would say, of course, وحلو ويدينيا, and I think waxa server ku baratay iyo network ku baratay, they're not going to ask you that. That's most of stuff waxay u baahan tahay waa management way. adiga most like waxa lagu weydiinaya Active Directory si loo isticmaala, and I'm sure most of you guys know that. Anyone that or service may Active Directory will yaqaana, set up the account, you create an account, changing passwords, and then we don't even give access, even though till now I've been involved with it in that long. I don't even do that because I don't have the access. So yeah, that's where we do it.
In terms of technical, do you remember any about 3 questions? aad u soo noqda aad lagu weydiiyo ama qofka loo weydiiyo ama adiga alla kulanti inta hada shaqada raadinaysay?
At the beginning, yes, the questions I like from Hakamida, it's like I think a couple of times personally, and was it a paper IP address?
Ah.
I'm also fast because we don't use it. One of those things. We hardly use it. We don't use it anyway, but it's there.
But do you know the reason they ask? Because that shows deep down qofkan conceptigiisa network
Yeah.
qofka conceptigiisa network isu yahay. So marka su-aashaas kor la weydiiyo of course macnaha waxay tusaysaa hadda ka jawaabtid in aad haysato kind of good concept of networking.
Yeah, and sometimes they ask you, for example, company A, let's say for example, Khalid, company Khalid would GlobalNet, the email from here to there. What route do you use? They'll kind of ask you what do you marayo. That's kind of the question they ask you. But they're not expecting you to in detail now check it because you're human enough today, and they're not expecting you to know everything. As long as you know from 553 or 552,
okay. So they're not expecting the person to answer all the questions. They want someone who reasonable حوجا يقان concepti كجوابي كذا سؤالها قاركود. And of course the mistakes I mean كذا because we're humans معها.
You there to learn, fam, and just like مرة بحوجي ديو such that ما قرنا عليه. There's nothing that I don't know مجرته.
Okay.
Or we just make up something, but just say at the end of that year I'm someone open-minded and willing to learn. Say that. So they kind of covers you up as well.
Okay. And the reason aan ugu soo celinayo waxa waaye because dadku waxaan rabaa inay ogaadaan macnaa in waxa laga hadlayo shaqooyinka lidooda inaysan ahayn wax aad u adag. Maanta u dambeysa aan fiirinayo there are more than 7,500 jobs outstanding in London kaliya bes.
Absolutely.
25 miles. And they're looking people to fill the gaps.
Yes.
And we have so many students or skills leh xirfadii leh aqoontii leh yet ka baqaya in shaqada intay bilaabaan.
I think anyone or server guy, third lesson guy, maybe fourth lesson, there's no reason for you waiting, man. You're just wasting your time. And so just go out there, just apply. You've got nothing to lose. Of course, you're not going to get your first interview right. You learn, it's a learning curve, family. It will take you up to 3 to 5 for you to get it right. And then after that, you'll get used to it because it's same question, different angles came on it. Different words maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the more you do, the better it's for you in the long term as well.
shaqadaalinta markay timaado interviewga especially sano kala miisa fadhida waxa fadhiya 3-4 people qofal buu wuxuu haystaa tricks uu su'aalaha uga jawaabayo one of the guys wuxuu dhahay markii su'aal la weydiiyo shaahan qaata ama biyo caabitaanka waa ku daha xogaa yani inta gaab waxay siinaysaa aan ku fikro su'aashan qaabkan uga jawaabi lahaa adiga do you have any tips or tricks macnaha to share with us?
I think if I may not understand so as that fahmay but say I'm not quite sure the right answer to give for example market technical tahay because scenario basically you can take it longer but like technical tahay there's not many way you can go around it so what I usually tell them could you repeat that for me so while he's repeating it rather than me saying just taking something there while they're repeating so it kind of gives you time and you just say that can you say that slowly please so that it kind of gives you time I use that and of course I mean most of the time these days anyway all my interviews except the one I've done it team so you'll be at home so there's ways around.
So basically you are saying most of the interviews are remote?
Yeah, don't accept it face-to-face unless you have to.
Okay, but do you have a choice?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I just pretend that you're busy. Of course you'll be working for like GlobalNet. When they ask you, give that time that suits for you and tell them, for example, X, Y, Z, something like that. I do not face-to-face well, I've got work that I can't take off day. See, just arrange it for my team and that kind of show them that you've got male hairstyle someone are reliable that you don't want to blow up your job or just call it sick.
That's why because dadku markay su'aal la soo waco waxay ka baqayaan shaqadan ama weysa shaqadan ama lagu siin waaya ama kugu xanaaqaan so meesha adigu waxa tusaysaa inuu qofka kalsooni u muujiyo uu dhaho yes I can do the job I can do interview but only remotely or maybe set a specific date and time in the future.
I think at the beginning where like I think a year ago of course I've never done a face-to-face interview so I just want to experience it. I've done it for the sake of it. If you want to do that it's different but at the moment I mean I haven't done it since I think I've done it twice at the beginning when I was by head. I can tell you that it wasn't a good experience.
Okay. Okay, because that's the case. My first interview always معناه you make mistakes and you don't know what to expect. ما فهمت. That's human nature وعادي واي. Okay, tell us مركز شقة هليسي معناها first job لو سيو. How was you feeling and how do you get the job?
I was excited.
Okay.
as you expected. I was very excited and I didn't know what to expect. I was like, what are they going to expect you to do that? But back of my head, I knew that because marka interview سمينا then they ask you at the end of the interview, do you have got any question to ask us? And I asked one of the question was like, for example, if I become successful this job, will you guys give me a training? You know, I mean, what sort of training will I get from you, expected from you guys? And the manager was clear to me, said to me, "Marka no imati, you will be shadowing.
Okay.
We'll give you like a week, up to a week. It depends how you are, because it was contract. They don't expect you to longer than that. So when it's contract, they're very ruthless. And then 1 week shadow I had, but I think by Wednesday I was kind of get ready for it. Of course, it's like a new environmental. It's an office. You're gonna go meeting people that you've never seen them, you never met them before. It was a bit challenging at the beginning, but yeah.
Okay, Khalid, here you mentioned معناها مركز شغل الوسينة إن نقول هاي or first week or maybe 2 weeks or even 3 weeks معناها he will shadow with someone. A lot of people who are watching this معناها show, they don't know what shadow is.
Yeah, shadow.
So what is shadow?
Shadow waxa tusaale ahaan أنا أشتغل كتجي بس أنا أشتغل جو أنا مركب إما تعصب تهاي قفك على الصعونة they will show you, they will guide you like how they do it. So whatever you do on that day هتي في صدق سيحشيت إن شاء الله which will be make sure make as much noise as you can. خلينا كذي وراء هذا كهرين because وحد tomorrow واقعنا هذا قيمة هذي قوتها لاوعي and just make as much noise as you can. And end of the day you just there to learn فاهمينه وبرنس and I'm sure or the thing that expecting you can do it. You might not know the system. For example, any one of us here, for example, if me, if I go to a different company, it will take me at least 3 to 4 weeks to settle down because it takes time to get used to the company, the software, the stuff that they use, all the applications that they use there. It takes time. So they're not expecting you to hit the ground running straight away.
So basically here waxaa leedahay hadduu qofka taa shaqada u bilaabo waqtiga la siinayaa inuu ku barto inuu nood qaato in la tuso macnaha systemka isticmaalaan qaabka shaqada u sameeyaan macnaha ma aha pressure leeyahay oo shaqada waa hesho lagu siiyay have to do it from today in isagii wixii loo dhiibayo naga qabo macnaha shaqadaadi meesha ka bilaabo it's not like that
ayagu system ay haystaan and they've got standard ay haystaan so they don't want to put someone front of the users who cannot do the job properly. It kind of the high manager market so they're not going to put you front unless you're ready. So they will train you. Training can work I mean 3 to 5 days, maximum a week you should be good to go. But some companies, it might take longer.
Khalid هذا شغله أتماد دينا مركز شغله هالشيء لوسية طبعا that was your first IT job and وحال قلنا هاي here is the job معناها that's what you're going to do first line second line whatever here are the tasks of course شدوا أسميسي مركز شغله أسمينيسي معناها كورسونيك أقادتي إلا إمسك وعاوين معناها technically
I think an A plus of course it kind of gives you overview of what's the laptop computer and all the equipment so at least so at least it kind of gives you hair and but network of course is the fundamental way. That is where the journey began and and of course and network engineers, that's the people that deal with it. But I think, of course, the basic stuff in how to connect to the internet, if the Wi-Fi drops out there, or if it depends, or the telephone sometimes and yeah, that's kind of helping me. Of course, without those two, you wouldn't get anywhere. And the server and Servano, that's where the Active Directory is extremely important machine that application that you will be using it day to day until now. As long as you involve IT, you'll be using Active Directory as far as I know. Because someone have to do that because that's where انتقل الاستعمال دونه.
maxay ahayd shaqadii kugu dhibka badnayd inta aad shaqeynaysay?
shaqadii dhibka badnayd.
shaqada dhahda alla ilahay tan wana qof soo qabsata ama aad support badan doonata.
I think what I used to do waxdii aan keeni waayo ama garan waayo I just like of course I started from first line I ka bilaabay hadda waxa garanaynin you lock the ticket marka ticket loo gareysay the user waxa bilaw I'll get back to you fahmino XYZ you give like a frame time siinaysa because we had a 3 hours frame time so you tell them I will contact with a 90 minute amal sadaysa then marka dhahday then you just the left kaada qaadanaysa you go somewhere Google it YouTube fahmino that's your friend sometimes you could be sitting next to management you don't want to do that in front of the YouTube so you go toilet you just go somewhere you do your homework.
So basically waxaa leedahay mobileka waxa u qaadan kartaa xitaa the toilet macnaha do some YouTubing
every day. Because if sometimes it depends. Like I mean, my first job I used to say, because we had a pause, like anyone can say any message around iska fadhiisan jirin. So sometimes you could be saying you know whoever's next to you.
and you have open office here man.
Open office while
okay.
And then everyone can see what you're doing, and you cannot watch YouTube with while they're there.
Okay.
And then so the only way you do it, or you cannot search something, they ask you, oh, is everything okay? And of course, you're there for you try and show them you can do the job.
Yeah, and you don't want them to know معناها you're looking something. Yeah,
and then
exactly. Very smart.
Other people that way they will tell you, they might say it loudly, so so
okay.
For you also, yeah, that's the engineer. And of course we were three of us, Engineer Abdurrahman, and both of them, Engineer Abdurrahman, we used to contact each other like.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah. I think that's very important because today we divided you into groups. Yeah, about 3-4 groups, and now most of you are.
My group is
group all in tech job, and other groups I believe most of them are in tech job as well.
Yeah.
But how group يدا يكون عاوين؟ يعني مركي تماد شغلة بنتي شغلة هالديرة.
I think it is absolutely. I mean, it's very important to have a group in a haste to and especially a group that you kind of get on well together. I also say that. And something like, of course, marka group there's two types of groups. One معاني يكون just قرينا, one أداب بكاب قريسنيس. And I think thank God معاني كم نقول دري group can all work together. So وحنا قاعدين just of course if someone have a for example interview عمل شغل interview لي هاي and then of course شغل the JD وأركي سماهم the job description كان وهستعملها and then you share with everyone else. And then what we used to do is like for example أيكا كويدينا like interview عمل
okay.
Call سؤالي كويدينا you answer them.
Yeah.
And of course thank God that we have got Zoom.
So that's the mock interview.
Mock interview عمل you kind of keep prep interview قسمين and that is kind of helped you. And صدحاتين أفرع أهين even though هالقف شقة ما كسب بهنين صدحينا شقة هذينا كان سؤال سوي دينا يا أو سؤال أنا ما تيجي عصبني ولا سوي دي أنا كنت جبع عمل هذا وجبين عمل.
Okay, well, it's very good because that type of networking it helps you a lot because how about مركز شغلة هذينا يصير أنا event مركز شغلة هذين شيء if you get stuck if you cannot do if you face معناها challenges if you get disappointed معناها to call someone and say this one I'm having. And they all will support you, of course. We are kind of community.
Of course, ideally, it's all about everyone got a smartphone or what. So you take a picture, واحد يجيبه جخوتها picture كقاسة قف صاحبك أو دراسة. They might have a better idea. They might, I mean, I wasn't the smartest anyway. So yeah, that's how we used to do that.
And the reason, back in the days, when we كان كشخ injury energist, a lot of Nigerians, that's what they used to do. قفا شغلة سينية. أي تحبك ما يقان. لكن قولكم قال يا ما أنتم عدكم أو أدويهم وقت ما أنتم حمق لسه أيقو هرلا يجوحية وحاس كذا what's going on. Eventually وحنا وقاعد lately مركي دنبه in a contact أي سميان أنا قاعد شغال سنين واقع because بيش كان وحنا كها network admin مركي كذبة عن حاجة إن that can technical skills بدن أي سلاحين لكن شغال إكو سميان to call someone in Nigeria or maybe here and not only Nigerian صراحة أنا أستمالية but ومرة كلفت هذا ولا ميد
we do this
and now
with the Nigerians
we are and that's very good because IT is huge and هذا هي طبعا واحد كاستمر سمين كلتيد so in a team الله ده fallback also نخون يصير الله ده guys this one I'm having can you help me is great معناها very important
especially لما كان ماشي صوتها حوجا the first few weeks months until you get to know who's who when you get to know who's who then you can go around with it but at the beginning you don't show them that your weakness.
أنا حالها قبض إنه ما أنت GlobalNet وسهلة دتك إن شقة هلا وحواي building معناها the teams and community because مركان قفك وساقر stage كنا عسوكر وحنا وقيبنا into group سوكله meet up أيام سمينا mock interview أنت وحكينا سوقفك يسوي وحي فهم سنبه إن شقة رايدين تقبلابه سؤاليه لو يدينا يا شلي إن ما أنت لو يديه سوي يقنو كجواب.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I remember that مركان شقة رايدين every I think Wednesday then Thursday we used to come to school to imagine just to do our homework and I think I can't remember without الله يماضي
Sheikh Mohammed
Sheikh Mohammed الله يماضي and I remember that I think he used to because I think at that time the three groups he was the only one that was working at that time so he used to come and remember that share with us and tell us for the applications that we market within an interview قف مركي لو تصه يمركي أمركي is different so he used to show us so that's why it's always have But I think school ki imaatid, you always people oo ka shaqeeya IT ask you the imaanayaan and they will support you and help you and make sure get a group of 4 more than 4 is too much why.
So ilaa 4. So markii aad shaqada bilowday oo aad lagu siiyay of course waxaa isticmaalaysaa a lot of tools, a lot of applications, a lot of technology. So can you mention about maybe 3 or 4 systems or applications that are very important to anyone who wants to join the tech sector?
I think 365 is very important. Of course hadda waa isticmaashay but you might not know it.
Okay.
Yeah, because like internet isticmaasha, word isticmaasha, it's part of 365.
Okay.
But for the business, that's what they use, but different version, a little bit like more advanced. That's one of them. Why? I would say SCCM.
SCCM, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a very important tool. Why our all SCCM family just it's how Hana I think Microsoft I think it's part of Microsoft. Yeah, and I think that's the two that everywhere you go they will go with you as long as you're a beginner level, put it that way.
And what about mobile device management?
Like Intune, Intune, you will use that to just to build for the telephone. That's probably greatness and family. I think one of them, and of course, Active Directory.
And AD.
Yeah, AD. Yeah, and other applications, for example, ServiceNow or TED or Sunrise. As long as you know one of them, they're all similar but different company anyway.
Okay.
That is this application that every company they log the ticket and then just to update anything that they've done it for the day.
And when you say ticketing system, because dadka qaarkood waa new to IT, maybe they're doing A+ or network. So what is the ticketing system and why that is important for the organization?
Ticket system,
Yeah.
Ticket system marka waa software where, for example, for example, very simple, and the printer is not working there. So for example, Abdullah called, the print system is not working, department XYZ, you bought that, and then you log the ticket, that's what the system, and the next person will pick up that from there,
Okay. So a ticket basically is a problem to fix.
It's problem to fix, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, it's just like, that's where everything goes there. For example, sometimes, we use a KB like a knowledge base. It's in there.
Very important. And that's part of the ticketing system.
Yeah, ticketing system. You search it with the keywords, and then then you look into it for someone that's made a year ago. It's there. So you just follow that steps.
Okay.
That's how easy.
So حالها قاركود مو باهن بين جوجل added معناها أو يوتيوب added سابتو حسمين كتها within ticketing system إن استعمال the KB the knowledge base.
Knowledge base.
Yeah, just look معناها the certain phrases. If you have an issue with the printer, look for printers.
Yeah, just like
if you have an issue with the email, Outlook, just look for Outlook.
Teams, just anything there. You just type in there and that's it.
Okay.
And of course, every company they have their own way of software that stuff they use. They always try to put that KB, so it makes it easy when people join it. Just dive in easily.
Okay. So which ticketing system do you use in your first organization?
My first one was ServiceNow as Somali. Then we moved to Telnet, Pillrise, Sunrise. Loads of them.
There are a few of them. But as long as you know one of them, you're familiar. It's like using website interface. It's very easy and straightforward.
And by the way, you can try yourself. American, it's a free American. You can look at either YouTube or you can even log in there. I think they give you like 24, 20 days.
Trial, yeah. Or maybe 2 weeks at a time. I believe some of them they give you 2 weeks.
And you only need 1 or 2 tickets to log it.
Okay. Yeah. So download, set up a new system, use it. And I did with you tomorrow yes, ما استعمال شيء yes واستعمال شيء. And that's true because you downloaded it and you used them as trial.
I think I remember that, I think I didn't realize CV I had, I think Landic,
yeah.
And I had no idea. And the girl was like, my first job, they were asking, you use Landic? I was like, yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't even know what it was. Okay. Sometimes, it's good that you know what you have in your CV.
عشان حستي important معناها point. You must know what on your CV. Because you're the owner of your CV. And the CV contains all your journey, your summary, your education, your experience. So I do حلقة ودي عندها تكتب يعني هذا محي. That's of course.
So Mark always قسم معهن in detail but just have an idea وح مشكوك قرن. Just have if you for example let's for example you just put there waxaa gelisay active director aa gelisay what is active director dii wala fahmin so at least you can say XYZ.
Okay.
That's all you need. You don't have to know in the details.
So the waxa laga wadi SCCM oo kale muxuu yahay just they were expecting from you only the rough ID macnaha RV muxuu yahay VM muxuu yahay
so on there which you would just you need to know the least
not in depth.
Nah.
Okay.
That's the higher level when you go, I guess.
Okay. And so that's معناها شغلة كواد. So of course شغلة كواد إني راجوكتي. كدي بوا كتكتي. حق ذا الكاري حينا شغلة كتكتي.
And I think two things. A was a contract, and secondly, even though they offered me to renew the contract, but at the beginning I accepted everything that they said. But second time I wasn't happy because I was like, okay, this is my turn. I'm not taking this. The terms and conditions were not to be changed, and they were not willing to change. And then, of course, even though I had the shaqada, I did not stop looking for work.
Okay.
Of course, the first 1 month I took a break. I was like, okay, let me settle down what I had. Then the second month onwards, I was started looking at and shaqada had 3 months. Within 2 months, I think I left. I left before my contract finished.
So why you left?
Why? Because not be disrespecting anyone working in healthcare, but it was healthcare. It was loads of work ahead. It's too much demanding, yeah. But we all need the healthcare anyway. So
Okay.
Yeah, it was shaqada GlobalNet. They expecting too much in Famino and all the team Kalshaqina was a contractor and a lot of contractors scenery and they were very ruthless.
Okay.
And I see if I could stay there, but I realized that I was not going to learn anything there, and that's one of the reasons I left there. I would take it.
Okay, that was your first IT job, and you left. So tell us about your second IT job.
Yeah, the second IT job was education department. I think everyone knows that Pearson.
Okay.
Where the testing
center.
Yeah, testing center. In Holborn. Yeah, that was that customer second K hit. Then after a while, another better opportunity within a month I moved there.
Okay. You know what I like about IT and GlobalNet community is, you know, هذا أديكوا حقوق شغالين Pearson PUE أو testing سمية، قارو حقوق شغالين for home office، قارو حقوق شغالين House of Parliament، قارو حقوق شغالين for banks. So the entire ودن كورن دتك هجية طبعا حاسبيه كنا GlobalNet بحكوا ليهين big معناها محل هذا community in every sector.
You said that literally my current job now, but I'm about to leave again. The first day I took it, we saw Manas Bilawne, and guess what? He was a GlobalNet from a club. And then not only that, there was another brother was working there from GlobalNet. So we got there 3 of us from GlobalNet, same place.
Yeah.
One was Bilawne, من هروس في جلبة المرجوي.
ما أنت حتى الجنسية دي شغلة بحنية هيرو حيقاني هدا كان GlobalNet إن دهاني يس معناها we trust GlobalNet معناها وإحنا نقطة براند حتى الجنسية ده أوتوماتيكلي قف كده كان GlobalNet إنه كسب حي because we are people like you like Abdulrahman like other Abdulrahman like other hundreds معناها of ما فهمتي engineers أو كبر high school كان all of them they have the stamp from GlobalNet and they did معناها great job so إذن كان وضده أوفل إذن كان إذن سبيا إذن فلاي إذن كان ما تحد أوفر شين كل اللي كدم بي which is good معناها amazing ما شاء الله
yeah مركا شغلات تجي I think the first day مركا تجي reception كويل Somalia جو أمثلك عبارة شكل سنين then أنت كي ما تي GlobalNet وهاي former GlobalNet boy هاي and then مركا بلاوني then another brother Khalid جوجي he's still there as well so yeah so 3 of us from GlobalNet work in the same department.
Okay. Yeah. And my vision هدا dadka u sheega Soomaalida ah wuxuu ahaa in Soomaalida ay noqdaan dadka IT system ka hogaaminaya in UK. That was 20 years ago. But now waxaan dhihi karaa vision ka almost معناها 80% is there.
I think the future looks bright and is down to move up. You know the next one coming in family or أنا كنا قدام بيك especially all of you guys are watching so it's your turn to come and join the team and محلها شقدنا is buzzing and I'll say one more thing هذا قبرتها you've got very good chance.
قبلها مغلس كعب فدقية.
I mean
yeah with the hijab with the ما فهمتي deen and culture.
It doesn't matter. You know you mentioned Dean. They didn't have a male prayer room, and it's quite a big farm, you know. And then, mashallah, one of the brothers who Ray, Ruth Kasame, then he's like male prayer. We said, oh, we need that, and now we've got a bit much. It's not this big, but it's quite room here, and you know they call prayer room. Okay. And before we did that coming, they didn't even have that room.
Okay.
They made it. So there's always opportunity and no one cares waxa aaminsan tahay
and that's what I like about the student ka baxa GlobalNet because always waxay ku dhigan yihiin diintooda dhaqankooda I think muna ahayd qofkii ka hadlayay yeah
yeah Ismail Allah wiilkaas masha Allah he's done well yeah
gabar la dhaho Muna ahayd oo meesha ay macnaha ka shaqeynaysa ma lahaynaysa idinkoo kale meel lagu tukado
صح
iyada sabab u ahayd in loo sameeyo prayer room and now macnaha same story
yeah masha Allah that brother I was asawda because he was the first son of Hore he'd been there for 2 years well listen me qolka hadda masha Allah we've got a nice room فاهمينه
so now Mr. Khalid macnaha you are at the stage ka tagtay shaqadaadii koowaad tii labaad ka tagtay tii saddexaad aad heshay haddana iyadii ka sii tagaysid maxaa ku riixaya xagga u socotaa
well when I joined the IT mela u socday fahmino
waxaa soo dhan hadda waa 6% ama 8 bilood ahna
I think 9 months I think 1 year I've moved like 4 jobs
and you're moving very fast mashallah
well, yeah.
good speed
yeah Somalian mahana anyway yeah I think sabto how if you get opportunity where you can get learning career wise I think you have to move on in IT that's the only way I think forward and that's what you remember that's what you tell us just know make sure mesha ku wada joogsanin move around
keep going
yeah end of the day if you just you hand fahmino adeeg ku xiran tahay hadii aad shaqaysid don't think that's it just for sake of it for fun interviews ka samee have a look around and for example yeah I will say I'm going to use example if you've been like out of there for quite a long time
hey
but
I like that
if you come back it's going to take you long but if you've been around you know it's going to run so I will say like you know even though shaqay is that you might be happy you might okay with it just do it for the sake of it I can say once a week twice a week do your interview have a look around and then if you get better I can offer a shit
okay
before I cut in you let them now quote shaqaysid and then they'll decide whether they match if not you move on
hadda some of the companies aad shaqada ku siinayo kale iyaga kugu sameeyay head hunting ayaga ku soo doontay somaha
LinkedIn you know that's where
they checked your profile
yeah, they
checked your experience and they said we need Mr. Khalid
yeah of course
come and work for us
we could say xiriirayaan and one thing you remember that is as I said at the beginning it's two way fahmino waxay ku weydiinayaan markay ku weydiiyaan you said that's what you want that's what they want then if you match each other and waxa doonaysid ee tahay and then yeah you just move on end of the day ada shaqaysa shaqalaan ku ismahan already you moving from one work to another you're not living like a god so yeah
the reason aan su'aasha ku weydiinay waxa waaye hadii aan dadka la qaybsado yeah always waxaad ogaataa macnaha you need to add value to yourself qofka haduu leeyahay value haduu leeyahay skills haduu leeyahay xirfad haduu leeyahay aqoon qofka is in demand macnaha waa loo baahan yahay they will chase you they will come to you they will offer you money xitaa waxay ku leeyihiin how much do you want macnaha meeqan ku siinaa laakiin maxaa loo baahan yahay you have to go to the stage aad gaari kartid maxay heerka aan see ku gaaraysaa meesha dabcan waana dhistaa aqoontaada xirfadaada iyo khibradaada waana bedeshaa maxay mindsetkaada andaas waxa keenaya dadka hadda uu ka mid yahay Khalid dadka ay ka mid yihiin ardada kale ee ka baxay iskuulka oo meelo fiican ka shaqeynaya in maanta ay noqdaan dad ah in demand is mistake ina aaminsantahay kaligeena wax u baahan tahay no adigana waa u baahan tahay iyagana waa ku baahan yihiin
absolutely
sababta ku soo wacayaan oo loo tagay Khalid macnaha profilekiisa la leeyahay Khalid we need you macnaheedu waa maxay because waxay aaminsan yihiin Khalid can help them macnaha to move up to make macnaha the company better macnaha place ma fahamtay daas waxay u soo wacayaan ay ku leeyihiin will give you macnaha the amount of money and I'm sure hada Khalid oo kale ma muhiim in lacag inuu sheego laakiin waxaan huba shaqo walba uu ka tagayay mid cusub uu helayay inay ka lacag badnayd tii koowaad uu ka shaqeynayay marka every time shaqa ka tagtid shaqa kale aad aadid dabcan waxa kor u qaadaysaa aqoontaada waxa kor u qaadaysaa maxay lacagtaada so muhiimadu waxay tahay adiga idaawanaya maanta barnaamijkan meesha aad fadhidaha fadhin move on hore u soco dadaal suuqa waa shidan yahay runtii shaqooyinka meel kala geeya ma lahan and I hate when I see young Somali people male female oo ka shaqeynaya warehouse Uber Eats iyo wax la mid ah why because you can do better than that you can earn more money you can work from home you can have flexibility so هذا هذيك تدوحها سودان why do you want to stay where you are why do you want معناها at the bottom go up معناها and that's the type of mindset we install in our students in ماشي أي جوجان أي سنجوجين and Khalid how important أي تهاي معناها هذا point هذا أنشجني
I think you made a lot of point فهمنا وسحنتها صابته end of the day it's your life it's your choice by the way but we're here فهمي you're very lucky to be given فهمنا free advice usually it costs money مثل حتى end of the day just كذا أسكله and if you if I've done it within 5 months, if I'm transfer to my life, and I'm sure you can do that as well. And killing man, so many of us are saying, and this can be done. And the see about you've got my Somali who here for you to show you, to guide you, and just all you have to do just make a time for yourself, and then you can achieve it. قصة ما هن إنا يعني IT but anything that you want in your life.
هذا الشغلة هذه سدحات أياد بلاود أمتي أفراد أي أسعتها. So مستقبلك حقه أسعتها Khalid, because IT is huge. Yeah, that's the banana joke. They believe IT is small, but IT is big sector. Yeah, there's a cloud. Even within the cloud, there are different sectors within the cloud. There's cybersecurity, there's networking, there's coding, there's AI, there's machine learning, there's database admin. There's so many sectors within IT.
Yeah, I think.
So
I think at the
where you heading to?
Yeah, at the beginning of my I remember I asked you, I want to be a DevOps engineer, and that was my وحربي. But marka so dhax gasho xogaa, like you slightly change around, and then I think halfway through I thought I might want to do networking. That's why CCNA was main and thankfully.
And حاجة تأكل بس CCNA
Yeah,
which is
alhamdulillah.
good achievement, mashallah, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, alhamdulillah. CCNA, but I think I still stand by Marco waxa doonayay in I or DevOps engineer. That is where I'm heading to, inshallah. And I think the role I'm going to start waxa ku sheegay I think Friday the role ka soo bilaabay doona that's what is going to lead me adulaad inshallah on beginning of next month. Yeah.
Okay. And kala qaybsada macnaha IT waxaaluhu ku fiican waxa kamid ah shaqooyinkeeda hal meel ma joogaysid hore u soconaysaa. The main waxa lugta eagerly. I like macnaha one of the examples ardada kamid u sameeyay. Yeah. Macnaha lugta eagerly tan labada xoogsanaya.
I think that's the thing. The first one, Mark, what icebreaker. That's all you need. Just get in there. That's it. Even if that is a 1 week contract, a 2 week contract, just take it. That 2 weeks is worth it. Even if that is 1 week or 2 weeks, don't assume like.
And progression IT is معناها very quick. Within 9 months وحاجة جوكتا شغلة هذه سدحاتي أفراد رأسي سعوتها. طبعا مستقبلك حتى سنة 100k, more than 100k, and that's achievable, doable within short time, I believe.
Yeah, and inshallah I will be nomad and tech. So yeah, why not? somewhere, you don't have to be. I think one of the reasons that put me in IT is like I just had enough of every day you have to go ميل شقة عادي فاهم the IT كشقين is طبعا قسمة إن every day حفيز كعادي. Of course, it's a choice. Why at the beginning you have no choice. But America حوار نحجرتي you have got opportunity which do you have at the moment alhamdulillah. And then in the future who knows? Life will only get better in IT.
Khalid, if we set the clock back, معناها what would you do differently?
I would have done a long time ago. I was like, sometimes I question myself, why didn't I have done it? But you know what? It's never too late. Alhamdulillah, at least in family, I had the market man I were gone and family I didn't be pushed in family. I was like, I haven't done it because X Y I've done it because I wanted to do it and I was ready to change.
Okay, castle go
there you go. I think that's all about. Hadii I man is IT and I want to go there. It's not right place for you. I can tell you that.
And that's what very important. وهذا نوع ذاقية قصة معناها رنتي ضبعة. هذا سكولكو حي ماذا one of the guys صاحبنا هاي نشاقة ما شاء الله دين تأدوي قان وحان دقنا نجن واجب المش ودقنا 20 years أكتيبا واسنا قاني وأركي دسك سكولكي معنا day in day out كما سوقين.
صح.
Now مركي ماشى أنك سوقورنا إلهي محو قدري إنه نوجد بيمادو Stonebridge. Not even here at Stonebridge. هذا مركا أنت أني متكذب أنت أسوريجي. معناه تام حتو سيسا فرصة هدي قفك أولو ذهي لكن أوسن ديارو أهين معناه سيول بأولو ذهي معناه ما سمعنيس وها معناه سمعنا وحيت هاي ما أنت أذيك كاسو.
Yeah, but you said that man because I remember that we had a classmate that who was in Scandinavian and some of them I think was in Canada.
Yeah.
But we were very, I mean, of course. Melbourne joogta ay tahay fiicanta ba anaka waa kana sii wanaagsan dabcan because London it was buzzing and I don't know if I think one of them I had that Scandinavia I think Norway that jecel hay he was telling me they're still struggling to find a job there where if you're in UK your chances are you've got more chances than anyone else especially in London that joogta فاهمين so yeah we're very lucky alhamdulillah.
استقالد I want منتقنا dadka هذا برنامج كان داونية a lot of them are motivated a lot of them they have معناها listen to your conversation mashallah and it's amazing the way you motivated them. So what are the main challenges معناها faced by anyone who wants to join the tech sector? What are the main things you can say معناها they need to tackle that and that and that before they start the process?
time management.
Okay.
That is the main. If you don't have time, because at the beginning, nothing is easy. Because what I believe is, for example, I'll take example, if you want to go to gym, for example, if you go one day for 10 hours, that's amazing. Or if you go like a 3 month for like every day or 2,000, the difference like you rather do short work. So marka, I think you waxaa u baahan tahay time management were very important. And waa inaad ka soo godaa. It's like you have to be willing to do fahmino. Inaad ka soo godaa, and this is what you want. This is what you have fahmino. I'm doing this in SMS. If that is not there, then I think it's not the right place for them.
And I have very good advice, especially time management, because the time is precious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The most precious product we have, ilaha una siiyey, is a time.
It's 24 hours, all of us.
Exactly. So if we don't manage our time, and that's one of the things. And galaasida markaan joogna aan aad uga hadalno. Sababtoo dadka qaarkood waxaa arkaysaa they're wasting the time. Qofka wadiinaysa plankaada muxuu yahay maanta ma ogi. Okay, weekend muxuu yahay ma ogi. Bishan muxuu yahay ma ogi. What do you want to achieve this year? Ma ogi.
I think the best option to do is just make a to-do list. For example, the things that you want to do it for, just put it like a few things. For example, like after Fajr, you want to do this, you want to do that. And just see a week. It might work for you. So it might not work for everyone anyway. So, but at the beginning, that's what I used to do it. And until now, I do it. But after time, you kind of get used to it. So like it became a part of you. But at the beginning, I think I would suggest anyone write down, and then so at least put it somewhere top of your fridge or like a back of the or telephone.
Khalid, let me ask you another question. Okay, now you work in tech sector, and before you, of course, worked in another sector, TFL, driving buses. If you compare that job to tech sector, what are the main comparison metrics you can use?
I think driving is a lot of hassle. Sometimes I question myself what we do. That why do we get paid for this much? Do you get it? Where driving is like it's a constantly, it's a hustle. So always you look at your shoulder, the cycles there, the this there, the that there, and always you just like timekeeping. And I used to do a lot of unsocial hours, which I used to hate it, but at that time it was okay for me. Don't get me wrong, buses they pay you well, but it's one of those things that you don't want it stuck there. Just use it and move on.
So
yeah, and I think that's all I can say there.
And that's a very good point. معناها runtii basaska they pay well, shaqo xalaal ah waaye, runtii aad u fiican, and it's good معناها qofka inuu ka shaqeeyo si uu incomekiisu soo saarto. Laakiin ma tahay shaqo oo future mustaqbal ugu fog leh. Haddii CV-gaada mithaal ma ku dhigi kartaa 10 sano ka shaqeynaya bas. Of course no. If you go back home oo kale aad u baahan tahay position aad dalbato kale, can you say I was driving bus for 5-10 years? No, you can't. So while you're here, معناها dadka Soomaalida halkan jooga waxaan u baahanahay in ay samaystaan xirfad iyo profession ka shaqeey bas waa xalaal, that's fine, but intaas baska aawodid has dhigan ku dhexwad wax kale oo ka duwan si brinta ay kugu noqoto maxay back up si aad uga soo baxdo shaqadan adag ee hadda aad ka shaqeynaysid waa inaad ka fikirtaa macnaha short term plan iyo long term plan. Short term plan waxaa waaye maxaa shaqo xalaal ah oo hadda aan ka shaqeyn karaa si aan ilmahayga u biisho nafsadayda, laakiin mustaqbalka waxay tahay xaggee jecesha inaa istaagtid 5-10 years oo kale mithaal and dabcan taa waxaa kaa caawinaya waxay tahay inaa haysato shaqo professional.
And secondly, because to do that you gotta know where you're going though. You gotta have a plan. Unless like if you're just waking up every day, if it's the same day for you, like that again waxa u baahan tahay meesha u socotid, then you're not gonna get there. But when you have set yourself somewhere, when you're hidden wada ku socotid waa ujeedaa meesha u socotid mahayno.
Okay, Mr. Khalid, معناها what do you do in your spare time? Of course معناها you're young, you have a very good job, so how do you spend your spare time?
I think I do a few things on the side. By the way, I recently started YouTubing. I don't know. So yes.
Wow, you're in media.
Yes. I just joined that. Yeah.
Okay. What's your YouTube called?
Urialand.
Urialand. جماعة ومقلسان كويا عم حديجنا كويا Urialand, yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Uria Somali هو سمع.
Uria you land together.
You land together.
Since we've been mining land, so we might as well be making land anyway.
So you create your own land.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's quite good, yeah.
That's what I do usually, and of course, I'm still learning. I'm still part of the GlobalNet family. Had the since into حاجة so good into so good نجيس تكتيك as you know.
Yeah, هذا كلامك وحنا نتبع إن شاء الله تعالى.
And yeah, so I'm still learning. I'm involved in family every day. I mean, twice a week. So that's why I do. And of course, when I got time, I try to do something outside the box, just keep myself healthy. That's why I do. And of course, alhamdulillah, life might be better than before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another hobby you have for Hawaii, gym, because me and you, we meet at the gym.
Surprisingly, these days.
Even today حتى أديكوا ما شاء الله عقالي ذو عادة الحين. كانوا ليش يلفتين هذيك. 70, 80 kg. ما شاء الله. That's good معناها to keep health and I advise anyone who can do that معناها go to the gym, exercise, dedicate some time معناها to look after your health. It's very important. إلى وقت يسوون وأجوكين علينا هاي. So don't abuse.
Yeah, and of course, it kind of gives you time away from the laptop, monitor, or anything that you want. The 5 minutes, kind of like 90 minutes, whatever, or 40 minutes, if you kind of day, it kind of gives you a free mind. Then of course we need that at least 3 days a week, minimum 5 minutes.
ماذا أقول مع الجيم كتكتام حجيم كتكتام. إحنا غفك وفهموا هذا يحكي دم بيه. سكلا لو فهمتين. سأوجدان إنجنير خالد نور ما أنتوحوا كشكية طريق ليسي سيدا أكوبلابي كل سوينكو وقاتي عقبته أقوى ويناء الرقل مي شقوينكو سو قد بي وصو سمايي مشهد وسعدو رنتي انت لفت إذا وحيتا 10 أدياد وين وقفل بوهل كان جوغر لو باهي هاي إنو كفايديستو أنا سببت أن أسميني برنامج كان إيو برنامج يدا كلا إلميت كا سو فضلا سومالي هدانا هاي أنسكسو قادنا ميشا أنتاقنا هاي قرآن أسعنو and we are ready for you. In last 20 years, we managed to produce a lot of Somali tech talent. And we're still here. And now we got, mashallah, big studio and عادي الحين. Ibrahim, current studio here.
Yeah, mashallah, it's amazing. It's great. I'm the first one, so but definitely that won't be the last. So from now on, I'll be behind the scene cameras, by the way.
So here we have a great and professional studio. MashaAllah, and رجعني إن واحدة أنت كسمينا podcasting 10 دوبيدودا live streaming YouTube معناها يونا محاصص على before 2023 أنت نقارن وحالة أهديات وبدن ودتك الصومالية حيسة وين معنا رنتي يفائدة وين أولى.
We need more girls to see that.
قبلها صوص إن شاء الله. يعني هذا جلاسة وحبلة قبلها أدو بدن.
ما شاء الله.
Yeah, they're coming إن شاء الله. They're coming. They're on the way.